Hey, good afternoon, everyone. It's Maria here with M.A. Lugo and Associates and Sean Powers Realty. I'm coming on this afternoon to talk to you about life insurance. I recently had a conversation with someone and about how people actually feel about life insurance based on what they know. And they made a good point of stating that a lot of people equate life insurance to death, and that's why they don't want to talk about it. But I told them, I said, I use and I look at life insurance as an asset class, right? It's for the living, meaning there are living benefits to having life insurance. There are pieces, or that's not the right word I want to use, but there are parts in the life insurance policy that you can access when you're alive if there's a chronic illness, a critical or a terminal illness, and those are defined in your policy. And if you're unable to do 2 out of the 6 activities of daily living, you can access a portion of the benefit while you're alive. If there is if you have a cash value accumulating policy, you can access those funds as a loan to yourself. Meanwhile, the cash in the policy is continuing to compound the original principal amount, even though you may have borrowed against the cash value in your policy. You've taken out a loan, so you haven't fully withdrawn the fund. So the money's compound. I recently had a 4-year-old whose parents started a policy for them, not thinking or about death, of course not, but thinking about planning for their child's financial future, putting in as little, in this case, as $50 a month. The child, when they're 18, 19, 20, 21, is going to have a bucket of money that they can borrow from. Hey, if they need to go to school, if they need to put a down payment on their first car, or even buy their first car, whatever the need may be, those funds are going to be there for the child. Recently just had an older person who needed a policy. Buying a term policy for them was not cost effective, right? Term has its place. I love term insurance as well. But it was able to lock them in at a rate, actually converted them from a policy that they had where whoever it was, they had a initial death benefit, and then they had what do they call it, accidental death benefit. But when we took a closer look at the policy, right, I was able to get a policy for them for the full amount that they thought they had at the same cost, and they had living benefits that if something were to occur, they can borrow the money against it. So there's so many intricacies to a life insurance, right? You have to get with someone, a seasoned professional that knows the in and outs of the policies, knows the differences. And as a broker, I'm able to shop different carriers. This way, I'm not trying to force my clients to fit into the product. I'm going to go find the product that fits my client's needs. When I sit down and we have a conversation, hey, I'm focusing on finding out what their needs are, educating them what their options are, and we make a decision together that they're happy with, that they're comfortable with, that they feel safe. Hey, I had someone tell me again this past week, Maria, thank you so much for helping me put in a disability policy in place. Now I can sleep at night. They're self-employed. They're an entrepreneur. If they don't work, there's no income coming in. So besides life insurance, I help people get policies for disability to protect their income. This individual just said to me, I can rest at night knowing that if something were to happen to me, there is income coming in until the doctor deems me able to go back to work. That's a long-term disability policy. As some of you know, I was recently disabled. I had my short-term disability policy went into effect. Okay, it paid me for the months that I was out of work. I also have an IUL policy that I was able to pull from if I needed to. Thankfully, I didn't need to pull from that policy, so that money's still there. Okay, so if you've been thinking about it, have questions about insurance. What should I do? Should I set up a 529 for my kid versus an IUL? Let's have a conversation. I'll show you the differences, because if you have a 529 plan, you can only use those funds for education. What if the child decides, I don't want to go to school, I want to become an entrepreneur, I want to go into the workforce right away? Well, those funds are sitting there. Okay, with an IUL policy or a whole life policy with cash value, you can borrow the funds for whatever you may want to borrow the funds for. So I just want to come on real quickly. I had that conversation. It was on my mind to share it with you guys. If you have a question, give me a call. You know how to reach me. Hope you guys have a great rest of your afternoon. Maria Lugo here with M.A. Lugo & Associates and Sean Powers Realty. Looking forward to helping you. Take care.